All right. Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. Let's talk about it. Happy Saturday to everybody, man. How's everybody doing? Look, we got a special guest, man. This is the off season. This is what we do. So look, we got Robert Lockhart. This is Brandon Lockhart's dad. Robert, what's the word?
Man, I'm just blessed to be here, man. It's wild. He was the last one, so he's been out of the house for 2 weeks. So it's really just we're getting trying to get used to this empty nest situation.
I'm a part of that too. I got that going on in my house. My son, my youngest, actually played. He was playing Division II college ball. He was the last one, and you're not getting misty eyed on me though, are you?
No, no, I'm actually glad he's out of here. He hey, it now USC took on that responsibility. That boy he cost me more money. He ate more food than I did. So I can literally go in my backyard and see his apartment building. So
Oh, you serious?
yeah,
Wow. So that's a good thing. But look, for those who don't know about being an empty nester, I am too. And I'm gonna be honest, bro. It feels so good waking up every day, man. Just when you did it right as a dad, you know what
yeah,
I mean, and really, you paid your dues. It just feel good, man. I love it. But they
it
go they
does.
gonna hit you up all the time though.
It does. Oh man, he's already asked me for money. I'm like, wait a minute, why? What are we doing, bro? You just got there, so you
Yeah, I
know,
was I was
it's all
cash
good.
apping my son like every week, man, literally. But so anyway, man, I want to get into Brandon and his upbringing, man, and just really where it all started for him, man, because he is. I take pride in especially I saw Brandon's tattoo the other day, and I think it said View Park on there, and
Yep.
I'm from the Crenshaw district. And View Park, I was, growing up on my street. We used to, how you had little groups, man. We used to call ourselves the View Park Hustlers, man. The View Park Hustlers, but it's just I take pride in seeing that, man. It's like he's a real homegrown product, man. But where did it all start for Brandon, though, man? Let's talk about that.
I mean, honestly, I think I told my boys growing up, there's a lot in life I can help them with. Football was one of those things. If they chose another
Yeah,
sport, they didn't need to get another dad, but I couldn't really show them how to do it to a high level.
right,
Um, so I think it came down to watching his big brother. Um,
right,
Big brother was a baller.
yeah,
Um, and being the youngest, his sister was a high end soccer player. She played for the LA Galaxy Academy. Got to travel the country playing soccer. So
right,
him being the baby, it was always for him. He wanted to be better than his siblings. He
yeah,
wanted to be the guy. So I never really had to force him to train. Like
right,
he wanted to train to be the best. And
right.
that's really honestly where it started at a young age. I would go all the way out to San Dimas to TNT. Uh, uh, TNT facility with Sid Montez, and he would train Justin. And then Brandon started going, and it just became a thing. Then my daughter started going, so it just became a thing where, you know, he always he was always the smaller one too. Like right, like in youth football,
Yeah,
Brandon had not hit his growth spurt, so he was small, skinny, that boy brought the thunder. Like you can ask anyone that ever played against him, he brought all whatever he had, all 85 pounds, 90 pounds, 110 pounds, like whatever it was.
yeah.
He probably broke a bone 4 different times in youth football just from hitting people.
Wow, wow.
So yeah,
So,
so
so, so, what was he like as a kid in football? Like when it very first started, and when did you notice though the flash though? Like at some point you had to notice, like, okay, this kid may be a little bit different.
well, it was funny when he first started in flag football. He played up, and they made him play center, and he was
Right,
not happy. He was not happy. He was like, "This is ridiculous. Like, I don't know why I'm a center. Like, I can play." And but he was with the older boys, so he played
right,
center. He did his part. He's kind of always been that guy. Like I'm going to help the team any way I can, even if I don't like the position I'm in. I'm gonna do my part.
right.
And then the following year, when all of his friends moved up, he actually got to be quarterback. And I would say that's the year where I was like, okay, the boy he can play a little something. He
Right,
can do a
right,
little bit. Like, I mean, he could throw, he could run. They won the championship with him as a first year quarterback.
right.
And he's kind of always just from that point forward, once those boys all started like being on the same team together, I'm not going to say he was the leader because all of those guys were really very cohesive with one another. They kind of all led together,
Right.
but he was a focal point on defense. We always had him at safety. He played receiver. Um, I mean, we had one of the best youth programs around town. I mean, we could easily say that, we were one of the top programs to ever come through LA. I mean, obviously you have place, guys like the White House where,
Yeah.
Max had his boys, and Rampage with Al down there. But, Baldwin Hills Bruins, the mob, like those dudes won back-to-back
Oh yeah.
championships. Like we got 8-9 dudes playing Division I football. So I think probably by the time he really put on the pads, that's when I could tell like he was different. Like he could play with the older boys, but it was. I also think for me, I had a little bit of foresight before the whole holdback thing became popular. I
Right.
did it with my oldest,
Right.
and then from that point, like I was always telling Brandon, like, look, dude, we're gonna do this thing. We're gonna do the holdback thing. You're not gonna like it. A lot of your friends are gonna move on. A lot of them are gonna do it with you, but we're gonna play the odds on this one, and we're gonna go to college a little bit older, stronger, faster, and more mature, because that was years ago, but I saw the
Yeah.
game starting to change. And
Absolutely.
so, when he got to a point where he could drive, like that boy was waking up, when he was at Loyola, he would wake up at 4:30 in the morning, drive to TNT, train, then go back to school and go to Loyola. So
Yeah. Yeah.
like him doing that, like he showed me everything I needed to see as far as his work ethic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, he went to Loyola. Talk about that too. Like, what was the deciding factor in going to Loyola? Of course, there's always going to be the pressure, man. You got the Modern Days, the Bosco, all these schools. How did that come into play? The Loyola thing.
Well, I mean, he didn't want to go to Sarah because his brother was at Sarah. He
Right.
kind of wanted to make a name for himself.
Right.
So that was big for him. Um, we definitely considered Bosco. We did not consider Mater Day.
Right.
It was just way too far.
Right.
And we weren't going to move. Loyola, we actually interviewed as well at Sierra Canyon. He really liked it there, but they waitlisted him. So
Right.
as soon as Sierra Canyon waitlisted him, and he got into Loyola, I assumed he was going to pick Bosco because I was all in sending him
Yeah.
to Bosco. And I'm like, what are you thinking? He said Loyola. I'm like, what? Like, I didn't get it. Although my boy Westbrooks was there, like, it was just not to his level of football, in my opinion. And he was like, well, they have the best education, and I'm going to go there and start as a freshman. And I mean,
Right.
it was probably the most mature thing I ever heard him say I guess he was 14 at that time.
Right.
And I was like, how do I not rock with that? Like
Right.
he's
Right.
actually thinking about his future with education. And, it's the same reason why he ended up, wanting to stay home and go to SC. It's like, life after football is a real thing. A lot of these kids and parents, they don't think that there's life after, like they just think the league, Division I, the league, Division I, the league. And it's
Right.
like, oh,
Right.
do you know like a Hall of Fame career is if you play until you're 30.
Yeah. No, I mean,
You
a lot of
got
people don't. Yeah, I
Yeah, you
agree.
got 50 more years of life after that. Like you better get a job or have something, like it's not
And
gonna
that,
be
that,
there
that, S-
forever.
that SC degree is going to carry him a very long ways, man. I was
Yep,
literally talking to somebody about that today.
100%. I mean, his mom is alumni, so he's
Yeah.
grown up knowing, what the network will do for you. So, him wanting to stay home and get a degree from SC, and definitely like, he's seen the ups and downs of SC. He's seen them when they were good, and when I was going to a lot of the games, and then he also saw, the last. Well, no, matter of fact, he probably hasn't seen the good. He's probably seen nothing but the bad,
Yeah.
and he was very intent and specific on wanting to bring SC back to prominence.
Absolutely. And I want to.
Yeah.
That's why I got this show, and I titled it "Turning Point" because I believe he's a part of the turning point. Specifically, that class is incredible. But before we get into that class, so he's at Loyola and he's doing some phenomenal things, and he actually committed to USC before he went to Sierra Canyon. So can you talk about that process before we get into the transition to Sierra Canyon, he started playing with all of his teammates, Madden and Tron and all those guys.
Well, I mean, he loved being at Loyola. Um, the education was phenomenal. He really kind of came on the scene. He did what he said. He started as a freshman,
Yeah.
and that off season, that spring, he went to the All American Bowl Combine as still a ninth grader and won defensive MVP.
Right.
And that's when everything took off for him. I mean, the offers that spring were coming from everywhere. And, I was kind of low key. I was kind of irritated because, like, that was when Dante Williams was the DB coach at SC. I grew up with Dante. Like, Dante was the little homie. That,
hey, my cousin played. My cousin Cameron played with him at Culver City.
Yeah, like that was my guy.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of sitting up here like I called his big cousin, who's my boy, and I'm like, bro, what's up with Dante? Like, what's he waiting on? Like, this boy is like, this is what he's waiting on. Took Dante a minute, but when he finally called and offered and we went up there and did an unofficial, I think it was the very first unofficial we did up there. He met Lincoln Riley. He's in the office talking with Dante. And then he literally, like, kind of mid-sentence while Dante was talking, he was like, so, I mean, I'm ready to commit. And Dante was like, what? And that's where it started. I mean, he stayed locked in really from that point forward. I think the only deviation he ever had was when Dante left, Doug Belt came in, and there was, like, communication was non-existent for about two, three months.
I remember that. I think I remember, and I remember actually being worried, because I was just like, there was a little transition going on, and I don't remember. I think that, like you said, the communication was kind of blank for a minute, but I gotta salute Brandon though. Brandon, Madden, those two guys, man, and Tron too. Those three guys, those were considered to me to be like the foundational guys, man. The guys that really kind of made that commitment and really stood on that commitment and been there from day one. So I gotta salute them in that aspect of it. And so when you're talking about the recruiting process, and then he decides to go to Sierra Canyon, what was factor into that?
Well, I mean, there were some things that gone on at Loyola that, concerned his mother and I. I'm not here to talk down on Loyola. I still think it's a phenomenal school. But, those incidents that we had there, coupled with the fact that literally, I think Brandon was the 14th of 15 kids that transferred out between the spring and the beginning of the summer. And
wow, I didn't realize that many kids transferred out. Okay,
15 kids, and it was one of those situations where it's like, well, you know what they say, you get better in practice, not in games.
Right, absolutely.
And we lost our starting running back, our starting receivers, our starting quarterback, our backup quarterback. Like, we lost everything, and I'm sitting up there thinking, like, listen, he's already having these issues. All of his boys, not every one of them. He still had a few buddies there, but his core group of guys, the ones he hung out with, were all gone. So now he's lost that. He has to deal with the things he's been dealing with at the school.
Right.
How is he supposed to get better?
Right.
Like, it's no knock on anyone that was still there, but
iron sharpens iron, man. It is what it is. I mean, you got to do what you.
It is what it is.
You got to do what you got to do. And I think it was an incredible decision, man. Like, Sierra Canyon, like, is becoming like a serious powerhouse now. They got some phenomenal athletes, facilities, all of those things over there.
Yeah, and he loved it. He was disappointed that when he got there, they took him in with open arms, and he loved it so much because he felt like a lot of the whole team had his kind of mentality, and he was like, man, I wish they'd have let me in from jump. I would have preferred to be here all 4 years. He feels like he would be even that much better as a football player because their education is equally as phenomenal. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's that was the one thing my wife was like, listen, if we're leaving Loyola, like, he has to go to another institution that education is like a premier education. So that's why we chose Sierra Canyon.
Absolutely. And it's a great school, man. It was good to see those guys all together like that on the team. And so now he's at Sierra Canyon. Of course, he made that commitment. Can you talk about the transition, though, as far as, of course, the swapping of Dante Williams and Doug Belt, once things picked up with that, and then how Brandon was like the guy that was over the whole thing, man, all on social media, really posting a lot, and the fact that he was kind of like the major recruiter, man. Can you talk about some of that?
Well, I mean, like you alluded to, like he committed to Dante. Dante probably after he committed, I feel like literally it was within 2 months. Dante was out of there and Doug was brought in. And
Yeah,
when Belk got there, the communication was non-existent. But I don't think that was necessarily anyone's fault. I think Belk was just trying to get his feet wet, trying to figure out his living situation. And when he finally reached out, like, Brandon's had a phenomenal relationship with him for 2.5 years. Like he was
right,
really excited to get over there and play for him.
right.
And then on junior day, he got to meet T Reed. T Reed got brought in on junior day. And was that junior day? I think it was junior day.
Right.
T Reed got brought in and then he realized, oh, okay, Belk is moving to safeties. T Reed has corners. So he's he kept his relationship with Belk, but his position coach, he started, getting a great relationship with him. So
Absolutely.
It's a weird situation because since Brandon's commitment, like literally, this is going to be before he ever's played 3 DCs,
Yeah.
3 DB coaches. Like,
Yep.
there hasn't been consistency there, and he hasn't wavered at all. It's not one
Absolutely.
of those things like he hasn't been like, oh no, what am I going to do? He's just like, I wish Belk was there. Like that's my guy, but
Yeah.
I came here for a reason. Like we're on a mission.
Well, that's what I want to get into the next thing because I mean, a lot of us, we've been. I've been a Trojan all my life, man. I love the Trojans, and the past few years we did see some transition. We've seen some changes, and the fact that I saw your comments on Twitter, you said you basically got to bleed this. It's not verbatim, but you got to bleed this. You got to want to be here, and there is a relationship aspect of it as we talked about, but there's a you want to be here aspect of it too. Can you talk about that and what that means to the Trojan family? Because I believe this class is the turning point, and you have to be all in.
Well, I feed off a lot of what Brandon says. He recently did an interview where he had said, I can't remember, it was on three, because it was on the USC on three page.
Right.
And I didn't even know he had done the interview. And he did an interview where he said, the one thing I'm excited about and I love about SC is that there are no last names on those jerseys. We're there for one reason, and the name on the front of that jersey says it all. Like that's what we're there for.
Right.
We can play as a brotherhood, and we're playing for USC. And I looked at that and I was like, damn, that boy's been listening.
Yeah.
Like he's really been listening. Like if you aren't, but like, and I get it. Like I understand it's a lot of money in football right now. It's a lot of dudes that they're 1 year mercs. They'll show up, get a bag, and bounce. And the way Bowden is doing things, and he's trying to grow something from a lower level as far as younger guys. Like I respect that. Like there are particular schools that when Brandon was going through the no contact with USC, where I was like, pay attention, bro. I was like, you see, a lot of the guys that are over here and they're not touching the field because a lot of money is buying these 1 year mercs, and they're trying to win a natty. I was like, I think we can win a natty where you're at, but you got to get to work. And he literally took that to heart. And that is when that boy went. I mean, he went in on Twitter, like every
No, he was going crazy
every day. Yep, like that dude. He made it his mission, and I give him nothing but respect as a young man because it's like, listen, you learn how to lead now. It's wait till you're on that field, and them dudes are looking at you. Like wait when you're the Taylor Mays on that field. The defense is looking at you. So I mean that's kind of the role that. Whether or not they give it to him or someone takes over, I'm like, it's still going to benefit you for people to know who you are and know that, if someone does go down, you can still lead your guys in the battle and they'll follow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Brandon got some size, man. Is he a legit 6'2" or 6'3"?
Man, listen, if that dude is 6'2", I'm 5'11". I swear to God, I don't know where these like he goes to his doctor and he's 6'3" plus. He goes to the schools and they say he's 6'2". I'm like, What do you
right.
like? He stands next to me. He got me. He got me by 2 inches. No ifs, ands, or buts. I am not 6 foot. So
Well,
I don't know where they're getting
no,
their
he
numbers.
look, but he looks. I saw him in the picture. I actually looked at the picture, and he looks long, man. And I'm
Yeah.
watching him in these 707 camps and stuff, man. He was doing his thing. He looks good, his coverage, all of that. And so when you look at this 2023, this 26 class, I believe it's a turning point. How much of an impact, man? You don't have to do it, but I think that we're not far away from a serious natty if we just all stay focused. Yes, we have a new defensive coordinator. We kind of all adapting to that. You could talk about that too, and how you feeling about that as well, because that's a whole. Well, we all, this is all different for all of us. But like I told everybody, I'm a Trojan through and through. Everything is what it is, and I'm rocking with the Trojans no matter what. So how you feeling about all this?
I mean, if I'm being honest, what we had 4 of the top 10 recruiters in college football.
Yeah,
A great recruiter doesn't mean a great coach. But what I will say is, I would have loved for them to figure out how to keep Doug Bell. But
yeah,
I think he relates to his defensive backfield, and he's a phenomenal recruiter. I would have loved to have seen that, but
right.
it's not my vision. It's not my vision. It's their vision, and
Absolutely.
they get paid the big bucks to make those decisions. So I'm not going to sit up here and chastise anyone for what they've done. The one thing that I'm hoping is, when people say, and I do believe that they need to be there for USC, but relationships matter.
Well, yeah, you know how much I harp on that, and
Yeah,
I
relationships
talk to a lot
matter.
of player families and players, and I try to get them. I try to get my audience to understand how much relationships matters, but I don't think a lot of them really understand where I'm coming from. I've dealt with it, the college sports, and so I understand that a lot of that matters, man. But like I told them, I said, look, I'm moving on. I think it's important that this team moves on, but I agree with you. I agree with you
Yeah,
100%.
I think if they truly want to make sure that, so what I'll preface it by is saying this: you cannot continue, in my opinion, right? But then again, I don't do this. This is not my career. This is their career. You cannot have constant movement and expect the greatness to come. Like, you have
Absolutely,
to have some
consistency.
continuity within
Yeah,
your players, your coaching staff. There has to become a level to where, okay, they're here. So
absolutely.
you got rid of one huge piece already. I think, if we get to a point where we're losing Henny, we're losing Nua, you know what I'm saying? We're starting to lose, his name has to come up, but we lose Savage or we lose Hanson, like the guys who are bringing all of these guys in.
Right.
Then once again we become that university where, are these guys really here? I mean, you're going to find out real quick if they're here for USC or the relationship made a difference, because whenever the next portal window opens, they're either going to be bought in on being at USC and what's left, or if they keep getting rid of more coaches, you might find some kids that hop ship and go elsewhere. And then, to me, we're always trying to figure out, like,
That's
okay,
facts.
everyone can play X's and O's. Or you wouldn't be
Right.
in Division I football if you couldn't follow X's and O's. But
Right.
you know, are you willing to run through a brick wall for who the next guy is? And you might
Bingo.
be still willing to play that sport,
Bingo.
but you might not be willing to run through that brick wall. That guy just, hey, listen, don't ask questions, run through that brick wall. If your relationship is like that and you'll run through that brick wall, then you got somebody solid that your guys are there to play for. And so I hope that losing Doug Belk was about as far as it goes.
No,
Honestly.
absolutely. Because a guy like Henny, man, he will elevate your game just based on, and we saw it in the TCU game. I think that just the defensive front, they look a little different, just the way they came out with the motivation. But the same way you kind of talked about that, I feel the same way with the transfer portal. Now, I know it's a time and a place for the transfer portal, but I feel like guys that just kind of go all over the place. I've seen guys that transfer like 4 or 5 times. I don't feel like you could get no continuity. I don't feel like you could get, under one particular teacher that's training you. And it's hard for you to kind of go from system to system to system and really, develop your game if you bouncing around all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, someone who transfers 3-4 times is, you're one season here, one season there. Are you ever really all about that school, or are you there for the money? You
Right,
know,
right.
and I feel like with this class, a majority of them for sure are here for USC. And if they can keep the core of this class together, you're I mean, listen, if we can keep all 35, 36 dudes, I
Absolutely.
get it's no question in my mind before they leave college, they will win a natty.
That's a
They're,
fact. That's a
like
fact.
I'll bet bags on that one,
That's a
right?
fact. That's a fact.
But the likelihood is we might lose one or two or three guys here and there. They might be, like who would have thought Longstreet would have left? He's next up.
Right, right,
Like I didn't see that one coming. I
right.
saw it because he had not re-signed, but I didn't really. I thought maybe he was holding out for some more money. I didn't know. And for you're going to lose guys like that sometimes. For them, it's like I want to play right now.
Yeah,
Straight up. I want to play
yeah.
right now. And so we might lose some guys like that. But then again, like I told Brandon, listen, I mean, he's there for a reason. He doesn't think there's anyone better than him. And I love his confidence in
And,
that.
and rightfully so.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
he's like, whatever. I understand that everyone on this team was the best at their school. So it's best on best. I'm just coming to take a spot. And I think
Absolutely.
that's how everyone should think. But, even he has said, like, he's like, you know what? Like, if I make it into rotation, fantastic. He was like, even if they don't play me this year, he's like, it's a redshirt year. I got next year. Like,
Yeah.
I'm next up. Like, no matter what, kind of like the position Longstreet was in. Like, he's like, I'm either taking it now or I'm next up. So,
Right.
If dudes go into it with that mindset, we'll win a natty because we got some dudes. Like,
We got some dudes, man.
oh my God, bro. Like I was at that All-American game, Jamian and Luke on that defensive front.
They look
There was
crazy
not-
though, huh?
Bro. I haven't seen something like that in a minute.
You text me during that game. I think I remember
Yeah.
you was telling me that, and I'm looking at it. These guys on TV. Luke Waffle looks crazy.
That
I mean,
dude, he's different.
he's different.
He's different.
He's
I was
different.
just like, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. I'm like, it's literally almost like he was not playing another All-American. I'm like, bro, his first step was so fast. And that right tackle he was going against, that boy can play. He's huge.
Let me
He can
ask
play.
you. If I would have asked you a percentage, you seen Luke Waffle in person. If I would have asked you a percentage, and this is not, we know we got some phenomenal players. What percentage you think he could start this year as a freshman?
I think it's about an 85-90% chance he's gonna step on there as a freshman.
I think he has that ability, man. He's different, like you said. He's different. They go, Anthony Lucas is going on that other side. Of course, you're gonna have Cam Crawford on one side. I don't see how you keep him off the field. I think Winfield's gonna get a nod at it too. Maybe I'm not saying start, but it's a great chance that he can get an opportunity to play. So
Well,
yeah.
Henny has some. We already got some dogs. He got some young dogs coming in. His rotation is. There should never be a time where any of our D linemen, no matter what position, got their hands on their hips ever.
Right. Good
At any
rotation.
point.
Yeah,
The
that's what those
rotation
big
is gonna
time
be
schools do.
stupid.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. They get everybody be fresh, and that's the good thing about defensive line, though. Like a lot of those guys, you see the Georges and all they used to do all that swapping out. Like some would do on first and third down, I think, and some would do on second and fourth. So yeah, I think it's a great. Yeah, everybody's saying that now. Yeah, Luke Waffle's gonna be the starter, and so. Yeah, so look, I definitely appreciate you coming in. But look, can you, before you go, talk about if any D1 player or potential D1 player is thinking about going D1, or you a parent, you're watching right now, talk about how much that you had to pour into Brandon from you don't have to talk about the actual number, but financially, how much you really went out there from camps to all that, and the dedication that it takes to really make this thing move. Because at the end of the day, it does help when the parents are really focused and help them out.
Obviously, parent involvement is paramount. Like these kids can't do it on their own.
Right.
But at the same time, I think in this new age of football, parents have to recognize one thing, right? Like our era, it was always right, D1 or bust, D1 or bust. And it's
Right.
Stop it already. 4,500 dudes entered the transfer portal. That means your high school kids are competing against grown men for Division I positions.
Right.
The Division I to me is like, basically the mini NFL. D2 is the new D1, D3 is the new D2.
No, that's fact. Yeah.
NAIA is the new D3.
I like the way you said that, man. Because some of those guys that don't, the way the transfer portal is now, it's pushing a lot. It's pushing some of these guys down. And like I look even at my son, played Division II, but he had all these guys, man, that transfer from like Maryland and all these different schools. Even though he was at a D2, he had a scholarship. And I'm like, dang, these dudes came from, and one guy just left his school and signed with Texas Tech. So it's like, it's crazy, man.
The D2s, because I got recruiting coordinators, I got buddies who coach D2, D3. They fully expect kids to come there and use their university as a springboard to get where they want.
Absolutely.
And most people would think, they don't want you to come there just to leave. Yes, they don't, but they do, because it helps their program.
It's going to make them better.
Yeah. I mean, kind of like Santa Monica College, right? They're the #1 transfer school to UCLA on a student level.
Right.
So if you could say, look, I'm a Division II program. I got 13 dudes to leave my program and go D1 last year.
Yeah.
You better look at that D2. You better start to think about whether or not I think parents they got to pour into their kids. They have to look at the reality of the situation, and then they have to be honest as well. Right? Obviously, I'm a proponent of holding back, but holding back doesn't guarantee anything. You have to take honest opinion from people, and you have to, is my kid really going to play?
Absolutely.
Period.
Right.
And if he's not, you know what, then figure out a different way to pour into him. But if sports is still his dream, you still want to foster that dream and help him push. But maybe you don't do the holdback thing. Maybe you don't spend, $100 per session on training, because it'll help him be better, but it's never going to help him get to college. Like, you have to be realistic with your expectations.
Absolutely.
And where your kid is. So, I think for parents, if you're realistic with it, like if your kid is look, when I met my wife, I played college ball. I played semi-pro ball. When I saw my wife, she looked like an athlete. She was gorgeous. And I said, I'm going to have babies with her, because I knew what I was about to make.
You already knew. Hey, it was inevitable, man.
Right.
And all your kids right now are some incredible athletes. That's what's up, man.
Yeah, it's one of those things like, look, if you're 5'11" and you were a pretty good athlete, and you have a son with a 5'1" girl, do not think that your son is going to be a Division I receiver. It's probably not going to happen.
Right.
I hate to say it, but like mine was I definitely fell in love with her, but it was also designed.
It was designed. You had a game plan.
Right. Like, people have to be realistic with their expectations, but there's a lot of good spots out there. Like I talked about earlier, my boy Sip at TNT, like there are dudes who they'll get your guys ready. You just gotta, you gotta be willing to pour into them and take that extra time and realize, like, your life literally becomes their life. Like, that's all I did. All I did was take my boys to training. I mean, we traveled the country during 7-on-7 season with, whether it was with Premium or Flightline or Trilly, like he played on all the best 7-on-7 teams. We were always gone, always.
Absolutely.
So they got to be willing. Yep, they got to be willing to put in that time, because it unless you're a 1 in a million, if you made a Reggie Bush and you got a 1 in a million kid, well, fantastic. But 99.9% of everyone else is going to have to work. Not saying Reggie Bush didn't work, but that's beside the point. That boy was special, even if he didn't work the way he did.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He was big time special.
Right.
I'm gonna take a couple of these questions real quick before we get out of here. Let's see. This says, Robert, I have to compliment you on how well you raise your kids. Look forward to watching Brandon in the Trojan uniform. Absolutely. I totally agree.
Thank you.
Here's another one. How do the players feel about the new DC? Happy to see parents on here and give us some insight. Hey, thank you.
I mean, he's honestly, everything that we've heard, like, he's the guy when it comes to 4-2-5. That's what SC runs. That's why Brandon is there. I mean, he's like, as much as he would have loved to have worked, and had Coach Belk there. Yeah. He is getting a Hall of Fame college football coach.
Well, let me ask you this real quick, because he plays. Yeah. He's coached safeties, and a lot of us we're kind of wondering. Nobody knows yet. Has he mentioned it? Whether he's going to be the safety coach?
I mean, that's what I've heard is that he's going to come in and coach safeties, and if he doesn't, he's bringing a guy like T. Reed's not taking over the whole defensive backfield. So the Brandon's take on is like Brandon's coach is still there. T. Reed is still there. So, Brandon is capable. He said, listen, I don't care if they move me to nickel or safety, but like he would like to be a boundary, like an outside guy. He feels like that's what he was brought there for, for his speed, his length, and his aggressiveness, and to hold down the outside and lock down big, tall receivers. That's his preference. But, if they move him to safety, he's going to go to safety. He doesn't care.
And that's going to answer that question right there. Is your son going for nickel or free safety? Yeah, like you said, boundary guy, outside. But whatever they want him to play, I know he'll go ahead and get it in. Here's another one. Mr. Locke, your son is a true Trojan, and it shows. He lets us be known. Yeah, I guess you're saying let it be known. Hey, thank you for those comments. And so, look, what is the last thing you want to leave with the Trojan family before we get out of here? What would you say to the Trojan family as far as the turning point and the hope that you could leave with this program? Well, with the viewers right now of what the future is going to look like.
Obviously, I guess there would be slight bias because my son is there, but I've been a Trojan fan when we were garbage, if I'm being honest. So
same here. Yeah.
My thing is this, like, stop hating and just ride it out. Like, we have the number one class. We have a Hall of Fame DC. Nobody should question Lincoln Riley on his offensive capabilities and his ability to groom a quarterback.
Absolutely.
Right behind Mayava, we got
Jonas Williams.
Jonas is a baller.
Hey, I don't think people realize how good he is, though. But
Jonas is a baller.
They're gonna find out.
I'm trying to tell folks.
Yeah, they're gonna find out.
They're gonna find out real quick.
Yeah, so, he might be on some Caleb stuff, but we'll see.
I know a lot of people I read. I always check out Brandon's Twitter and your stuff. I do a lot of. I don't troll anyone, but I do go on there and read a lot of comments. And a lot of people, if we don't make it to the college football playoffs, Lincoln Riley's gone. And I'm like, listen, although we should have won the last game, a 9-10 win season is a good season.
It is a good season.
Everyone acts like, first off, the college football playoff is screwed up anyway because they put in number 20 and 24.
It's rigged from the AP poll and the coaches poll. They position these teams every year. It really ticks me out. They position these teams every year. Alabama shouldn't have been in it. We could have beat Alabama.
Yeah, but look, they took the top 10 teams, and then they took number 20 and number 24. So that means, although I hate them, I hate saying it. Notre Dame should have been in there, and BYU. They should have been there. They were 11 and 12, and they earned it. Right?
I agree. Yep.
So does that mean number 13 was sorry? Stop it. Number 14, 15, us at 16, we're sorry. The NCAA needs to fix their situation.
It's the stupidest thing, man.
To fix it is they got to stop. They cannot do the transfer portal when they do it because all these dudes are up. Bowl games become meaningless because now people are, we didn't have our team or all these guys didn't play. Everything is fine-tuning, but all I got to say is to the Trojan fans is, listen, get behind these boys that are there now because every one of them that are there want to be there. They're ready to put on for the city. I know this 26 class, every one of them is trying to push someone out the way. I don't know 126 that is thinking, well, I'll be good as a junior. So ride with these dudes. I promise you, if people show up at these games, these boys are going to show up and show out.
Absolutely. I got a couple more coming in. I'm not going to answer all, but I want to just a couple of them. How close is the 2026 class in your opinion?
To winning the Natty?
Well, just close at the bond that they have.
These dudes. Brandon, I don't think there's probably only 3 dudes from the 26 class that are local that Brandon didn't play with or against growing up.
Right.
So, he already knew most of these dudes. And then once the ones that committed, they're all in a group chat. Like, these guys were talking, on a regular basis in the group chat before they ever even got on campus. So,
right.
I honestly, I don't think that there's another group closer than this group in the nation.
They appear to be super close.
Right? Like, how long were people saying, they got the number one? We'll see in 2 months. We'll see in 6 months. It never wavered. It actually only got better.
Absolutely. Especially, Luke Waffle came on at the end.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We got Caden Dixon on signing day.
Oh, my God.
You
You see
know,
how he
so
looked too. You see how he looked in the game too, right?
hey, listen, like Brandon to tell anyone, anytime, any day. Brandon's went against a lot of these dudes, whether it be in real football or in camps.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
to this day, Brandon will tell anyone, Caden Dixon Wyatt is the hardest receiver he has ever had to cover, ever.
How big is he actually? He looks like a physical big receiver.
Caden and bro, and Caden, I don't even think Caden held back. Like Caden is different, bro. Like I would have loved to have SC to get him and Chris Henry, but Caden is legit. The boy is his route running is phenomenal.
Yeah,
Hands are
yeah.
phenomenal. He's physical. He backs down from nobody. So, you know, you look at like being able to grab a kid like him that's been down here, you know, the last few years. All these guys know each other. Man, it's I'm telling you, it's about to be
It's about to be crazy.
the competition in practice alone. I wish they would film it. I wish there was like a pay-per-view that the fans could see, because you have someone like Tron. Tron doesn't care. He's like, I'm taking someone's spot.
Tron's
You know?
super underrated too.
Yep. Like Tron is there to take someone's spot. Caden Dixon is. Trent is coming to take someone's spot. Brandon is coming to take someone's spot. You know, Peyton Dyer. Peyton Dyer is Brandon's roommate. Like they didn't even know each other until Peyton committed. You know what I'm saying? And their bond became so cool. Him, Peyton, and Maddie, they became roommates. So they all live together.
Absolutely.
You know, so like these dudes are not coming down. They're coming to learn. I will say that. Like they understand their place. They understand dudes are a little older than them, but especially on the defensive side of the ball, they're about to learn someone else's system. Every one of them are on a clean slate. And they're excited about that.
That's a great point, because the offense is one thing. I think Lincoln Riley, because he's established the offense, it's proven they were ranked up there at number one. But I did a video just the other day, said open competition, because this is a new defensive coordinator. Everything is basically new, so everybody's pretty much going to be on the same page. I understand that the Gary Patterson's going to run the 4-2-5, and it's maybe a little similar, but it's not all that. It may be a little tweaking involved. So everybody has a learning curve to go through, and all I can say is may the best man win. Freshman, whoever you are.
I don't care who it is.
Who it is. May the best man win, because at the end of the day, we need the best 11 out there, man. Period.
Listen, I'm gonna be the first one. Luckily, LAPD covers the Coliseum, because when we beat some of them big teams, I'm gonna be the first one storming the field. I'm gonna have my police ID out when I do it, though, because I'm telling you, it's gonna be some games that they're going FAFO, and we're gonna pop these dudes, and we're gonna pop them with some young dudes. I promise you that.
No, man, absolutely. So I'm gonna end this with a couple of them. Before we get out of here, because I saw, let's see, fantastic interview. Really impressed with Mr. Lockhart. Hey, thank you very much. Fight on, Mr. Lockhart. Thank you, Raul. Blackie Chan, fight on, Mr. Lockhart. Oh, he's coming on again.
Hey, Blackie Chan, you supposed to have me on your show.
Hey, go follow them at Light the Torch. Absolutely, man. He's coming back on, man. He knows his stuff. It's always good when you know.
Look, I couldn't let Booby's dad keep getting on here. I'm like, what, this dude got a reoccurring role, and I haven't even been on here yet.
Nah, but we talk a couple times a week. You know. This is the first time had to get you on. So look,
Appreciate you.
Hey, Brandon parents are both solid. They have right values. Absolutely, he's going to do very well and get his degree. Absolutely.
That's the number one thing right there.
Absolutely. Blackie Chan says, I got you. And so look, man, everybody, we are definitely pleased with Mr. Lockhart, man. We about to get out of here, man. He had a phenomenal time with him, man. He truly knows his stuff. And so, look, until later on, man, we are out of here, man. Happy Saturday to everybody. Fight on,
real quick before y'all go. If any of y'all follow my son, it's his 19th birthday today. So if y'all could give him a happy birthday, that'd be fantastic.
Happy birthday, Brandon. Happy birthday. And for those we got almost 500 people in here. I talked about Brandon, man. He got this tattoo that says View Park, man. That's kind of like my area where I grew up in. And look, we used to call ourselves the View Park Hustlers.
There you go.
Back in the day, we thought we were somebody going to 54th Street Elementary.
Hey, look, I'm looking on you saw at the top of this tattoo, it was the Hollywood sign. I'm looking at the Hollywood sign out my back window right now. Like, that boy, he got the Coliseum on there. And if no one saw it, what does it say under the Coliseum? loyalty. Like
right.
if anyone thought this boy was finna hit the portal or go somewhere else, you got the wrong kid. Like this dude is a Trojan. He was born to be one.
Absolutely. So, hey, happy birthday, Brandon, man. We appreciate you for being the pioneer for this class, man. I'll say that. And so, look, until later on, listen, hey, Anthony, how you doing? Until later on, everybody stay blessed, man. We out of here.
Fight on.
Get a couple more of them happy birthdays. Yeah, fight on, fight on, fight on. Let me